What's going on, guys? My name is Binks, and today I'm going to be talking about a little story that's just happened today, past couple of days. So, a few weeks ago, or actually it's about a week ago, I have been collecting comic books for 2 years now. I got into comic books, and I started collecting action figures, going to conventions 2 years ago. So I was thinking, I'm like, what can I do to celebrate these 2 years of me being in this wonderful group? So I decided, you know what? When I was a kid, no one introduced comic books to me, and I knew what superheroes were. I loved Spider-Man, but I never read comics. So I decided, let's go out, and I'm gonna go and buy comic books, and I'm gonna give them to someone. So one morning, I went to my bus stop, and there's just this little kid, but he's 6 years old, and I'm looking at him. He has an Avengers backpack and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, he likes Avengers. And his mother asks me, when is free comic book day? And I was just like, why is she asking me when free comic book day is? And I realized on my backpack I have a free comic book day pin. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. And later on in the day, I was like, oh, that's why she remembered. That's why she asked me. So I was thinking about that whole day. I was thinking about something like, that's really fascinating. Like, I don't know, I felt like doing something really nice. So since Free Comic Book Day is pretty far away, it's March, April, May, so 2 more months until Free Comic Book Day, I wanted to do something special. So I went to my local comic book shop called Comic LA Toys. I did a video on them on the journey to the comic book store. It's actually my recent video. I'll leave the link if you guys want to go see it. And I went there and I was looking around. I thought, okay, so he has an Avenger backpack. I'm just gonna assume he likes Avengers. So I go to I'm looking for the Avengers comics. I can't find them, and so my friend Sean, he's the owner of the comic book store, and I tell him, like, hey, listen, there's this 5-year-old kid who's at my bus stop, and I really want to get him some comic books, right? Like, and I don't know this kid personally. I just met him like 2 days ago. And Sean's like, oh, okay, yeah, what does he like? I'm like, Avengers, and, he's 5. So he's like, okay. So he takes me to, like, an all-ages comic book, like Avengers rack, and he pulls out, like, I think about this thick stick of comics, and he's like, all right, so he's going through them and stuff, and he picks out these 3 comic books, and he's like, he pulls them out. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna pick one of these, and I'm gonna buy them, because I think they were, like, $5 each. And I didn't want to buy, like, so many comic books, right, because it's expensive. And he hands them to me and says, it's on me. Sean gives me free comic books to give to a kid to get him into comic books. And that just shows, if you are going to do nice things for other people, people are going to do nice things for you. So Sean's like, listen, kids are the future of comic books. If you introduce comic books into this kid's life and he grows up to love comic books, he's gonna remember that, and he's gonna do it when he's older. So I'm like, man, like, Sean is such a nice guy. Like, honestly, like, there's so many nice people, and you don't realize it until you start being a nice person yourself. So I'm like, Sean, thanks so much. And I shake his hand, and I'm like, he's gonna get these comic books. So the next day, I'm thinking, like, how am I gonna tell his mom I got him comic books? Here you go, take them, read them to him. So I go to my bus stop. So it's around 6:40. I usually around see them at the bus stop, and so I see them, and I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hand them to comics. I'm gonna say something, and I'm just gonna say hello and stuff. So they get to the bus stop, and I said, hey, this is so weird. But when you asked me when Free Comic Book Day was, it's May 1st, and she's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then I said, I know it was really, really, really weird and out of nowhere, but I actually got some comic books for your kid, for your son. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I was like, it's no problem, because when I was a kid, no one gave me free comic books. I had to get into comic books by myself. And in fact, this was my very first comic book that I bought. It was $1, because that's how poor I was. I could only get $1 comic books, and my friend Reggie and I got the exact same comic book at GNU. Actually, it was before they went to the recent store that they were at. And I said, like, listen, like, you know, hopefully one day when your son grows up and he gets into comic books, he's gonna see, oh my gosh, you know, like this guy did this for me when I was a kid. I want to do something for him, do something for another, you know, another young child, or maybe like a teenager. All ages, guys. Comics are all ages. It doesn't matter what age group. You could be an old man and here's a comic book, read them, falls in love. That's what I love comic books so much, because anyone can get into them out of nowhere. If you start young, it's the perfect time. I wish I would have started reading comic books when I was younger. Now look at me, I have a bin full of comics. I'm always giving people comics. Here, start reading, because that's what I do. I love to introduce people into comic books, because it shows that I'm a very nice person, and it shows that comic books impact our lives so much. So that's what I'm gonna try doing more often next year. When I find out, I forget what day it is, but it's March 20 something, 25th I believe. It says on my Facebook account. But around that time, I'm gonna buy a comic book for someone. And I'm gonna give it to them. It doesn't matter if it's a random person in the street. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, I go to school and I see someone, I hand them a comic. I'm just gonna do it for now often. And if you guys are, you know, into something like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, give someone a deck of Pokemon cards. Give someone a Magic the Gathering card. Invite them. Say, hey, you know what? We have a club at my school, and I want you to come, because you never know, you may impact someone's life forever. Again, guys, this has been me, Carson, or Car Binks, whatever you guys want to call me. This has been the video. I don't want to raise myself up saying I'm such a nice person. Oh my gosh, look at me. But I just wanted to make this video to kind of spread hope and spread awareness of being a nice person, because I don't believe in karma, but I believe if you do something nice for someone, someone's gonna do something nice for you, because that is exactly what happened today. I wanted to do something for a kid. Someone did something nice for me, and now that kid is happy. So guys, I'll see you next time. If you guys want to see, go to my social links down below. I'll also be putting the Comic Alley Toys information to go check them out. They're actually having a reopening for their store. They got a new logo, cleaning up. It's a really cool store. I really recommend you guys go check it out. So if you guys are in the GTA area, I'll leave the link down below. Their address. I'm actually gonna be there, so if you guys want to come by and say hello and stuff, I'll be there. There'll also be a artist from some comics. I don't know who it is exactly. I'll have to check, but I'm also gonna be there. He's gonna be there. People are gonna be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Come dress up if you have a cosplay. I think there's like extra bonus things if you dress up. So I may dress up my Spider-Man costume. I don't know, but again, guys, I love you so much. Be really nice to people, because you never know what's gonna happen back. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
And we are the dreamers of dreams.